Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the things you need to know about living in Jersey Channel Islands. Okay, there's so much you need to know guys before you settle on that island. So please keep tuned so that you can hear all 20 of the things I have to share. So firstly, let me give a bit of background on myself. So when I relocated to Jersey in March of 2016 when I had got a permanent job there, and then I left the island in May 2017 when I had a transfer. Okay, so I have quite a bit of experience in terms of having a full year of living on the island. So here goes. Now, just to give you a bit of background about the island itself. So it's a very small island. You could literally drive around the whole island in a day. That's how small it is. And it's located between the United Kingdom and France, and a bit closer to France. All right. Now, it's a crown dependency, which means it's under the sovereignty of the British Crown, but is not actually part of the UK. It's a bit of a tricky thing to get your head around, but yeah. Now, even though it's a crown dependency, it does have a lot of laws and the way it does things that is very similar to the UK. Now, every time I'm going to mention the word mainland, that refers to just UK. Okay. Now, it's got a population of plus 100,000 people, and they mainly speak English with others speaking French. So there's a lot of French influence, and you'll see that in by the fact that a lot of the shops and roads are in French. Okay, so let me start with the tips that I have, or the information I have to share. So number one, Jersey is predominantly a financial sector. Okay, so there are plenty of jobs in that industry. Now, why this is important to know is that sometimes you might think you can get a job if you are in other sectors, but it can be a bit of a tricky one because, yeah, it's almost just mainly financial services. Okay, point number two, when you come from outside of Europe, you have to get a visa, okay, to stay there, and you'll get a UK visa. All right, which means that if you travel from Jersey to the United Kingdom, you actually don't need a visa because you don't go through border control. All you need is an ID. All right, point number three, the currency that they use is pound sterling, but they have their own notes and coins, and the value is the same. So if you want to travel from Jersey to the mainland to UK, I would advise for you to first change the Jersey notes and coins into pound sterling so that you can easily use it in the UK, in the mainland. All right, point number four, it's in the same time zone as the rest of the United Kingdom, even though it's close to France. Okay, point number five, the dialing code is +44, which is the same as the UK. The mobile phone providers or internet providers are different from those in the UK. So you actually do need to shop around and see who has the best rates and then use them. Now, one thing I must emphasize is when you leave Jersey to go to the mainland, to the UK, remove your Jersey line, because the rates that they charge you for roaming are extreme. So remove your Jersey line, and you'd rather buy a UK line and use that one instead. All right, point number six, everything in Jersey is pretty much expensive, and this is because they don't manufacture their own stuff and everything is pretty much exported. Okay, so basically what they mainly do is produce their own milk and potatoes, which they call the Jersey Royals. That's pretty much what they do. Okay, so being a foreigner, there may be a number of things that you want from your home country. And what you'll have to end up doing is making use of Amazon, where you can get things even cheaper than buying them on the island itself. One thing you do have to notice or to bear in mind is that even if you have Amazon Prime, the one-day delivery thing doesn't really work on the island. So just anticipate deliveries to take a bit longer than they would if you're on the mainland. Okay. Well, another thing that people do is to buy their stuff from the mainland when they travel there. So let's say you go to London, whatever, then they just buy all the things that they need and bring them to the island. Okay, you can also try the Jersey market. There's a market in St. Helier, which is the capital, and they sometimes try to sell, this is food, so they sometimes do try to sell foods from different parts of the world. Okay, another thing you need to know, because things are expensive there, Jersey salaries tend to be higher than salaries in the rest of the UK or whatever the case may be. Okay, so you just need to be aware of that. But at the end of the day, I would say it's relative. So the amount of money you end up being able to save in Jersey might be the same as a person who lives in the mainland because they've got lower costs, right? So just take that into account. Number 7, driving. From what I remember, if you don't have a driver's license from Jersey, you need to get one. So if you have a driving license from any other part, like the rest of the world, you actually need to get an actual Jersey license, compared to the UK where you can easily just convert your license to a British license. So you'll have to go through the theory and practical tests. Okay, note though that the roads are small, so having like a sports car or a huge car in Jersey might not be worth it. All right, then point number 8, accommodation. Now, accommodation is highly regulated in Jersey, and this is because they try to protect the locals so that they have places to live. So everybody who comes on the island or who is on the island will be allocated a residential status. Now, this status determines what kind of property you can rent and what kind of property you can buy. So there's so much involved in all this accommodation thing. So I will do a separate video and link it in the description. Okay, point number 9. They have a website just like the mainland does. They have a website where you can get a lot of useful information. It's called Jersey. In fact, it's called gov.je, and I will also leave a link in the description. Okay, point number 10. Weather can sometimes be better than the mainland because you're more in the south. But sometimes it's relatively the same. Okay, point number 11. Childcare is expensive, just like it is in the mainland. And what I've actually noticed with some couples is that some of them end up having one of them not working because it just doesn't make sense. Okay, point number 12. Public schools are free, so that's great. Point number 13. There's no NHS. Like the one in the UK. The equivalent is Social Security, which you pay about 6% of your basic salary. Okay, on arrival, what you'll do is when you first arrive on the island, you'll have to go to the Social Security offices and register. Back then, I paid about £75 for that, and they'll give you a card. Now, the first 6 months after you arrive in Jersey, you will have to pay the full cost if you go and see a GP. Once you've been in Jersey for 6 months and you've paid any of the Social Security contributions that you're supposed to pay, you'll be able to apply for a Social Security health card. So when you show this card to the GP, you'll get a discount of probably like £20 off the fee. And if you show it at a community pharmacy, you can get prescriptions for free. Okay, and also you can get free treatments after arriving on the island after 12 months, from 12 months. Okay, point 14. People mistakenly think that Jersey is a no-tax island, like it's a tax haven, you know, and you think that, okay, fine, my salary is going to come just like that and doesn't have tax. The unfortunate part is you do have tax, okay? The only groups who benefit from having no tax are companies, not individuals. So bear that in mind. Okay, so your salary will definitely be taxed. Now, once registered with the tax office, they will assess your position and then issue you with a tax rate. So maybe about 19% of your basic salary, whatever. Okay, so given the 6% that I've mentioned above and the 19% basic salary, you can see that you'll probably have deductions of about 25% of your salary. Now, this will definitely differ depending on what pay level you are and all that kind of stuff. Now, at the end, if you do leave the island, or after every year, you can fill out, you have to fill out a tax assessment. So that's what they can use to probably assess if they were over charging you or undercharging you. So just remember to do your tax returns every year. All right, then point number 15. There are not a lot of direct flights to a lot of destinations. Okay, in fact, they're probably just direct flights, like a handful of direct flights. So when you want to travel, you have to realize that you have to travel to, for example, London before you travel somewhere else. Okay, now you have to take this into account when planning your trips in terms of timing and costs. And I found this was a bit of a hassle for me because I always had to manipulate the time so I could factor in the Jersey leg. Okay, so now a flight from Jersey to London is about an hour, all right, and you don't go through customs. The cost of a flight can actually be lower than £100, but this depends on the day of the week, the season, if it's a public holiday, or whatever it is. And the main airlines in Jersey are EasyJet, British Airways, and Flybe. Okay, point 16. Transport can be nil. Just like for me, I would have months when I'd have zero transport costs. This is particularly because it's such a small island and most people live in the capital, which is St. Helier, so they can easily just walk to and from work. But of course, you can also use buses. They call it the Liberty Bus, and it has an online timetable which you can follow. And apart from that, they also have taxis which you can use. But I must mention that with the taxis, you have to book in advance for Friday and Saturday nights because they do get fully booked. Another thing I must mention is there is no Uber in Jersey. Point number 17. Nightclubs close at 2 a.m. strictly. There is no negotiating. They close at 2 a.m. So if you like to party till 5 a.m., sorry, Jersey ain't the place. Okay, point number 18. Jersey is generally safe and quiet. So I've always believed that this is a really nice place to like raise children because it's generally just safe. I mean, literally, when I would walk home, in the middle of the night, I would never really worry. But of course, you just generally always have to protect yourself and just be careful. Okay, point number 19. Jersey also has restrictions on businesses. So from my understanding is it's not easy for international companies or companies outside of Jersey to just come into Jersey and open shop. So a number of shops that you see in the UK or outlets or retailers, whatever, you won't find them in Jersey. So for example, Nando's, you won't find them there. Okay, and then finally, point number 20 is being close to France. You can easily travel to France by ferry and the costs are usually quite affordable. So you travel from Jersey to St. Malo, which is like a port, and then you can easily travel to the rest of France and the rest of Europe by train or whatever you choose. So there you have it, guys. Those are my 20 tips about living in Jersey. I hope you found those to be really useful. Do leave a comment in below if you have any questions or just want to say something. Do like and subscribe. And again, like what I said, I will leave some links in the description box and catch you next time.